in Sarah McCartney versus Danny McCartney Jr. It is 18 DM 494. The petitioner appears by Zoom separately from her attorney, Ms. Gehring. The respondent continues to be self-represented. Mr. McCartney, have you given any more consideration to hiring an attorney?
Yes. Right now we were busy getting the house and dealing with all that, so I have not got one yet.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to show you his pro se. It looks like we were last, or you were last in front of the court on February 15th of 24. The court reinstated, I think, at 223. Ms. Gehring, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I basically just reinstated the last parenting plan on file that had not been modified by anyone. I did award mom spring break. I did require the kids not be removed from Mulvane until further order of the court. However, the court emphasized that the fact that they were enrolled in Mulvane may be an issue during litigation of whether or not that was appropriate or not. I intended or stated that I would appoint Josh Andrews as GAL, cost to be split, and set this case for trial June 5th and 6th, live at the courthouse to determine the summer schedule, or whether it'll be shared during the summer, and then primary residential for the 2024-25 school year. Because I think, given the location of the parties and some of the factors, it appeared that the shared, that whoever got primary residential would be the location that the school that the kids would attend. That's my recollection, and then I set it for status today. When I started looking at this case about 10 o'clock, I realized that I had not done an order appointing Mr. Andrews. So what I had done is I had gotten an order from Judge Hart to see, he's primarily the judge since our LPC procedure, limited parenting coordination procedure, was modified by Supreme Court rules, and the coordinator that we had, the mediator that we had, who gave recommendations, retired, and there's really no one locally doing those at kind of a reduced rate. So Judge Hart, anyway, decided to start appointing guardian ad litems. I wanted to see his form and draft my own. I got his form. I wasn't satisfied with it in total, and apparently didn't finish working it up or drafting it or getting it filed, getting him notified. One of the issues, I think, Ms. Gehring, and folks, you may not understand the distinction, but there is a distinction under the law, is whether I'm ordering a child custody investigation under 233210. That doesn't have to be an attorney. It doesn't even have to be a GAL. It can be a court service officer or anyone appointed by the court to conduct a child custody investigation, provide a report, and then they're subject to testimony or cross-examination by any party or counsel if desired. I think, Ms. Gehring, this came up one time with Lacey Gilmore. and the court really didn't address it there. Maybe it wasn't your case, maybe it was probably a different case, but she suggested that when the court appoints a guardian ad litem, the guardian ad litem cannot be required, nor really should they on most occasions, testify. And so you're not allowing, the court's accepting the report without any cross-examination or any perhaps arguably due process for either side. I don't know that I agree with that, but their function is a little bit different and their limitations are different. The child custody investigator appointments 233210, formerly cited as 1615, and the order appointing guardian ad litem. It indicated that I should use the form put out by the Judicial Commission. It really is related more to a child in need of care than it really is a domestic, but it indicates an inclusion that it can be used for child custody or domestic purposes, or a child in need of care. So I think and I started working on that, but again, the standards for guardian ad litems under Rule 110 and their ability to Supreme Court Rule 110, which is the authorization, I think, and there's limitations under Rule 3.7, lawyer is a witness, because of course a guardian ad litem is a lawyer that gets specialized training. There are limitations. They can only testify as to uncontested issues, the nature of their legal services rendered, or if disqualification of the lawyer would work substantial hardship on the client. So that's kind of where we are. And I think, Ms. Gehring, I need to make a decision. I did talk to Mr. Andrews. I think the important thing is that he's very clear on what he's being asked to do under what authority, what his responsibilities are, and ultimately what he might be called to do later. He does charge $150 an hour. He does require the parties to each submit $750 each for a total retaining fee of $1,500. And he is willing to do it and does believe he can get a report done before the trial scheduled for June 5th. So the decision, I guess, would be, is this going to be ordered as a child custody investigation? I don't think this is a home study situation. That's another avenue the court can use to order that a home study be done, but that's not what we're looking at here. Or GAL. So child custody investigation, not home study investigation, versus guardian ad litem appointment. And I'll be truthful, counsel. Mr. McCartney, part of the reason for the court to order this is so that I know that somebody's doing footwork, legwork, making contact with witnesses, investigating things that I cannot personally do as a judge. If you had an attorney, frankly, the attorneys could do their own work, submit their own work, and fight it out in court. It is helpful to the court to have an independent, so-called neutral third party, but I certainly don't require it on every case. A lot of times mediation's just used, and domestic conciliation is done, and then I get recommendations that way on parenting issues. But I think it's an all or nothing here in terms of who's primary residential, where the kid's going to school. I don't see how you're going to negotiate that. And frankly, I think the cost of that would be much higher than $1,500 if you use some of the current mediators that we've been utilizing. So, Ms. Scaring, I need your thoughts about this. I do apologize. I dropped the ball. It was my intention to make sure if I did an order, that I was checking out what Judge Hart was doing as an alternative and, making sure that, what the basic rules are for appointing someone for this purpose. What are your thoughts today?
Your Honor, I haven't discussed the distinction between the two with my client. Is there a difference in price? I would think that some could come down to cost. Or will it be the
I
same?
doubt it. I imagine either way I do it, since Josh Andrews is a qualified guardian ad litem by the courts, that either way he'd probably do the same charges, whether he was investigating or not.
Your Honor,
Way back when, before we even probably had the guidelines, when court service officers weren't quite as busy, they would do home studies and sometimes custody investigations for judges, and we just don't have the benefit of that at all anymore because they're just too busy. It's just not feasible. But he did tell me, though, that oftentimes he will refund money more often than not. So if it only ended up being $1,000 instead of $1,500, he would refund whatever portion he didn't use. But since he's in private practice, like most people, he has to have enough there to cover, in case, it's that much or more for some unforeseen reason. So, but I do know with collaborative resources, some of their mediation, of course, they're mediating entire parenting plans and custody. It's not necessarily the school, but I've seen their bills easily $2,000 to $5,000 a person.
Your Honor, my preference would normally be for a guardian ad litem. Just if he's qualified to be one, that would be my preference. But I do think there's been some facts that have changed since the last court hearing. I don't know if that might influence the court. And my client is requesting to renew her motion asking the children live with her and go to school where she lives, because since the last court hearing, Dad has moved to Harper. And now the children are having to get up at about, as my understanding is, like 4 a.m. to get to school. Nobody lives in the Wichita area. Nobody lives in Mulvane. The children previously, if the court recalls, were in the Augusta schools before Dad unilaterally changed it to Mulvane. My client has also, both parties don't live in that area. And also, since that court hearing, is my understanding is that there was a domestic violence incident between Dad and his girlfriend. It's my understanding that the girlfriend threw her phone so hard into the wall, got stuck in the wall. Mr. McCartney had punched holes in the wall. The boy went to school and reported it. And then DCF and the police came out. And I guess it's my understanding from my client that the children were interviewed. We don't have any information from DCF. I mean, really, my client hasn't been involved, but my understanding is there's been some stuff going on out there that, and the children don't want to go back there because they went with my client for an entire week over spring break recently and absolutely did not want to return. Also, one of the girls sent a picture to my client. I have it and I can provide it to the court, that Mr. McCartney has a bong, and I think he admitted at the last hearing that he would test positive for THC, but it's my client's position. It's her understanding that he smokes pot every day. That's what he did during the relationship. He said in court last time he tested positive for THC. She believes he continues to smoke pot. He and the girlfriend drink in excess every weekend. And that's part of the problem with what's going on and the violence that's going on. And my understanding is the children, it's my understanding the children were there during this domestic violence incident. And so, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead and put him under oath then and let you question him about these things. All right?
Okay.
All right, Mr. McCartney, if you'd raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you please state your name for the record?
Danny McCartney?
And are you the respondent in this case?
Yeah.
Okay, since we were last in court on February 15th of 2024, did you and your girlfriend have an incident where you guys got in an argument?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, and were the children present?
Yes.
Did your girlfriend throw her phone into the wall?
No.
Okay, did she throw her phone at all?
No, that's all hearsay from somebody else. I don't know where she would get that at.
Okay, did your children believe that your girlfriend had thrown the phone to your knowledge?
No.
Well, what happened during this incident?
Yeah, the phone wasn't broke. We still have the same phone. Nothing happened to the phone. I was trying to discipline her child and hit the door. We have when we were living in Mulvane, we have a little cheap door, like bedroom door, little tier ones, and he kept closing it and closing it and closing it. And to make a point, I thought it was open because it never latches right. And to make a point, I not like punched it, but like hit it down like this, and telling him to keep it open. And it actually went through, not all the way through, but I left like an indent in the door. But there was no domestic violence. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got touched. It was just a regular fight that normal people have.
Okay, then did your girlfriend get mad at you for having a hole or indenting the door? Is that what you did?
Yeah, but nobody got mad at me.
Okay, were the police called?
No.
Did the police ever come out and interview you?
No.
Were you ever interviewed by DCF?
No.
To your knowledge, were your children ever interviewed by the Department of Children and Families?
No.
Did your children ever tell you that anyone interviewed them at school?
So what had happened is my son, Rudy, since we got loud, he has like sensory issues. And since I got loud, he was busy doing something else when it happened. And since I got loud, he was telling the nurse at school that because he goes into the nurses area to change and do his business. And he was telling the nurse that Dad got mad last night, and he got worried. Like he got, he was worried about everybody. But no, it was all, talked about, and everybody at school was involved. I mean, nobody got any charges or anything like that.
You said that everybody in school was involved. What were they involved with?
I'm saying like everybody in school, like the nurse, and Hillary works for the school. Mm-hmm. My girlfriend that's been living with me for 3 years.
And so did the school contact you guys about this incident?
No, just the school nurse.
The school nurse contacted you about getting in an argument with your girlfriend?
No, not me, no.
Who did you contact?
My girlfriend.
And what did she contact her about?
Like I said, the argument, having an argument, and Rudy being, just to make sure she was okay. Just to make sure that she was okay. Just calling to check to make sure she was okay.
Is somebody talking to you right now?
No.
Was somebody talking to you in the background?
Do what?
Is someone talking to you while you're testifying?
No.
Is anyone present with you while you're testifying right now?
Yes. But nobody's. My girlfriend Hillary is present.
Did she just make comments to you about what to testify about?
No.
So what's the date that you and your girlfriend got into this argument, this loud argument?
I have no idea. I did not write that down.
How
It
many
was
times did that occur after the last court hearing that you and her got got in arguments?
one time.
If your children have reported to their mother that you and Hillary fight all the time, would that be accurate?
No,
Do you fight frequently?
no,
Do you have any idea why your children would be making these type of reports to their mother?
no. That's why we need some type of litigator, just for the kids to talk themselves, I guess. If she wants to be, you know, unruly like that and say things that aren't correct, I mean, I guess we have to pay to have somebody talk to the kids and get everybody involved.
Since the last court hearing, did you move?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you move to?
Harper, Kansas.
Okay. And how far is that from the children's school?
Like 55 minutes, 55 minute drive.
Okay. And what time does
So,
school start?
what school starts there like around 8, I want to say. I don't know specifics.
What time do the children have to get up to go to school in the morning?
So, my girlfriend Hillary works for the school and she drives the bus, the morning route during the morning, and then during the day she drives bus and then drives the evening route. So they rode the bus with her when we lived in Mulvane. So now she continues to work for Mulvane and drive every day. So the kids go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, and we get them up at 4:30 in the morning, and they leave at around 5:15 and get to work at 6, and then that's when they'd sleep on the trip to the school bus. It's only been a few weeks, but they sleep on the slip. We have a comfy car where they get to sleep in, and they have a school bus that they get to sleep in on the way to school. Nobody's been late to school or nothing like that, so it's been worked out pretty good.
What do your children do while your girlfriend's doing her bus route in the morning?
They ride the bus with her.
Okay, so they ride the bus for 2 hours before they start school. Is that correct?
No.
Well, you said they get there about 6, correct?
Yes.
And then what do they do and school doesn't start till 8, correct?
Right. So they get on the bus.
So they're on the bus for 2 hours?
No, they get to school before that, way before 8 o'clock. They get there and are able to eat and everything like that. So whenever the school lets the buses get there.
Okay, and then after school, do they also ride the bus route with your girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, and then what time do they get done with that bus route?
I don't know. Let me think here. What is it, about 4 o'clock, 4:30? I would say.
What time does school get out?
3.
Okay, so they're on the bus for another hour and a half. Is that correct?
Yeah, an hour or so.
And then
Depends on if they get stopped by a train. In Mulvane, they have a lot of train tracks.
And then after that, have another 55-minute ride home to your house in Harper. Is that correct?
Yep.
So
Yep,
what time do they get home every day from school?
5:30-ish. I mean, it's still pretty new since spring break and everything's, what has it been, 2 weeks? So
they're gone from 5:15 until 5:30 every day.
yep.
And then why don't you take the children to school?
Because I work in Wichita at 6 a.m.
Okay, and why don't you pick the children up from school?
Because like I said, it just makes more sense for my girlfriend to do it.
And your daughter has produced a picture of a bong that you have at your home. Do you have a bong at your home?
No.
Do you have a marijuana bong?
No.
Okay. Can I have a brief moment? I'm gonna produce an exhibit. May I have a short break? Just a couple minutes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just a moment. Okay, Your Honor, I'm ready to proceed.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I share my screen so I can show the witness exhibit?
Yes.
686.
Mr. McCartney, can you see the picture on the screen?
Kind of, sort of. Museum.
Let me see if I can make it bigger. Hold on.
Oh, yep, I see it.
You see that picture on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Is that a picture of a cabinet in your home?
No, that looks like a picture of a cabinet that would in the house we used to live in that was in the landlord's personal bathroom.
When did you live in this home?
When did we live in this home?
Yeah, the one that this picture would have been taken from.
This would have been before we moved to Harper.
So this is in Mulvane, Kansas, is that correct?
Yep.
And this is where you were living at the last court hearing, isn't that true?
Yes. Does this have a
Do you
timestamp or
agree
something?
that that's a bong in that picture?
That's what it looks like. Yes.
Have you ever used that bong?
No, like I said, we lived in my girlfriend's dad's house, and I know that he uses marijuana.
You said at the last court hearing, when you were asked if you would test positive on a hair follicle, you indicated you would test positive for THC. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay. And so do you regularly use marijuana?
No.
But you've used it recently enough that you would test positive on a hair follicle for it?
Yes. That's what I was
And
saying, because the stuff that I use nighttime gummies, and it's legal stuff that I can buy, that they do say that it will test positive when I've talked to the people that, I purchase from.
did you previously daily use marijuana during your relationship with Ms. McCartney?
With Miss McCartney,
Yes.
years ago, maybe
Yeah.
years ago, when long time ago, yes.
Okay. And it's your testimony that you've never used this bong in this picture?
Yeah, I've never used that bong.
After the fight with your girlfriend, were your kids pretty upset by that incident?
No.
They never said anything to you about it?
No, my daughter was upset because of everybody saying different thing. I don't know how to explain it, but my daughter was upset, yes. And then we went and had a talk together, because she's a little girl, a 12-year-old girl that has emotions and gets very emotional. And 1 minute she's here, 1 minute she's there.
So
So
you and your
she's
girlfriend had
talking
an
about
argument. It's your testimony. You and your girlfriend had an argument where you were yelling at one another. Is that correct?
No, we weren't yelling. We got louder. Yes, voices were loud.
Okay. And somehow a door ended up with an indent in it. Is that correct? From your fist?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
From the back side of my hand, from the pinky hand. Yes.
Were there any other holes in the wall at any time from that incident?
No, not to my knowledge. No.
Were there any other
The
holes in the
door.
wall from your girlfriend?
No.
Okay. And
Not
after
that
this
I ever-
incident, your girlfriend or your daughter was upset. Is that your testimony?
No, not after that incident. Not that day. No, I was talking about a different day.
So there was another incident in which your daughter got upset?
No, it was about the same incident another day.
Okay.
Sorry. You get very technical and I get confused. So I would like to have a litigator, and I'm getting very confused. I don't like how you question me, I guess. So I'm settled down now. I guess I still have the opportunity to get an attorney, don't I, Judge? Because all I can see is a little bitty picture. I don't know how to work this out.
Yeah, let's, can you pull down your screen? All right, there we go. Can you see now, Mr. McCartney?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Further questioning, or repeat your last question, please.
I don't recall what my last question was, honestly.
Okay.
But and just so I understand, after this incident, your daughter was upset, but you're saying that was on a different day that she was upset about this incident. Is that correct?
No, no.
Was your
I
daughter
would say
upset about the incident or not?
it wasn't about the incident. I don't know. I thought you said something else. Like I said, I got confused. I don't know what you're asking now. So
When you and your girlfriend got in this argument in which
that,
there ended up with a dent in the door and you guys raised your voices, was your
that
daughter upset from that incident?
no,
Okay, your son went to school the next day though and told the nurse about it. Is that correct?
right.
And it's your testimony, no one from DCF has spoken to you. Is that correct?
No, I've called and talked to the DCF guy trying to get attorney help, but he says there's nothing he can do because he
Okay.
gave me legal aid number and all this, but that's only his name's Charles.
Okay. After the court hearing, you have moved to Harper, Kansas, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you provide notice to Ms. McCartney of your intent to move and the address you'd be moving to?
I thought we did one during the last court date.
Okay. I'm asking you, did you provide her written notice of the address of where you were going to move and when you would be moving at least 30 days prior to your move?
Oh no. Nope.
Why
Just like
not?
she didn't provide me her address and a written notice when she moved to Sedan. Because we just knew.
Mr. McCartney, my question
My
is just yes or no. Did you provide the written notice?
So all I can say is yes or no now.
Did you
Yes,
provide
you've already,
written
he's
notice?
already
Okay.
said no, he did
So-
not.
When did you move?
They said no. When did I move?
When did you begin living in Harper, Kansas?
So during spring break, I'd have to look at my calendar. Do we have a calendar handy? Can I
When
look
was
at we
spring
need-
break? When was their spring break? Does anyone know what dates?
Sarah, when was the spring break?
You know when the spring break was for your kids? Why don't you grab a calendar or your phone or something and look at the date?
Okay, so spring break started on, so I signed for that house because I purchased it. I'm not renting. I purchased a house in Harper, Kansas. 8th on a Friday. And then we moved that weekend, and then the kids had spring break the 11th to the 15th. I got them back that Saturday at noon on the 16th. And then I think I've had them ever since.
So, Mr. McCartney, they've only been going to school they've been living in Harper with you while attending school just for last week. Is that correct? That was the first week that they did that long distance. Is that correct?
Yep. Because
Okay.
we knew that this was coming up, and Judge told us not to move schools.
And
So I didn't want to
knowing
change.
that the judge had ordered that the children would remain in Mulvane schools, you chose to move to Harper in the middle of the school year. Is that correct?
Like I said, I already had a contract on it when we had the court date the last time.
Okay, but if you just answer the question, you moved knowing that the children would have to stay in Mulvane schools, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And do you think it's in their best interest that they have to do this schedule where they got to get up at 4 a.m. every day?
I mean, I think it's been really good for everybody. I mean, they got up at 5 before. I mean, my son gets up, loves it. He likes to get up early. So it's been I think their mom gets up early too. So I don't know what's wrong with getting up early.
Is anybody residing in the house that you used to rent in Mulvane?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I want to say he's moved back in there.
And this is your girlfriend's father's home, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
Do you have the ability to remain in that home until the end of the school year, the rental home? in Mulvane?
If we had to, I could, yeah.
Okay, so you could have stayed there for till the end of the school year and not moved to Harper, is that correct?
So for one, yes, for 1 week, I could have stopped that. Yep.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Is there anything you want to say, Mr. McCartney? Anything else you want to say?
So I was just wanting to clarify the schedule that we were supposed to keep. We were supposed to have the original schedule where we get them on 3-3-3-2 or whatever, 3-2-3 or however they say it.
Yes.
But we have not been able to do that. I mean, I want to say, their mother has willingly not been able to take them to school either. So they can't, I mean, does that make sense? I guess I don't.
Yeah. All right.
So I've had basically what I'm trying to say is we have not been following this parenting schedule again, because I've had them during the week and then we let her, we agreed on a different schedule right off the bat, ever since we didn't have court last time, I've had them basically during the week because she can't get them to school.
All right. Ms. Gehring, does your client have a driver's license?
Ms. McCartney, can you go ahead and answer that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have a working vehicle that's insured?
Yes, I do.
So I always have to meet the kids with your mom to pick them up, though. I wonder why that is. So,
Ms. Gehring, do you know why your client hasn't, is it because of her work? Why hasn't she been able to reinstate that schedule?
Your Honor, we can put my client under oath, but I can proffer to court. I think some of it has to do, she lives 2 hours from Mulvane, is my understanding. So it's very difficult.
Augusta,
Is that correct, Sarah? How far is the drive?
2 hours to Mulvane from where I live.
I thought you were living in Augusta. Did you move?
No, she lives in Sedan.
In Sedan.
Okay.
She has a job there.
That's because,
yeah,
that's
because it's an hour and a half.
okay.
But Your Honor, I think she's just had trouble being able to.
Hang on just a minute.
But we had all agreed that because we have 3 kids.
Hang on a minute, please.
Sorry.
That just means wait, please. Don't say anything. This confused. I thought there was somewhere in this order that basically said neither party was to remove the kids from the school district that they were in, and I thought they were in the Augusta school district.
They were in Augusta, then Dad moved them
right
in the middle of school year to Mulvane,
right.
And so that's where I thought I understood the order was that they were to remain in Mulvane.
It was, but I mean, okay. Their actual court order before all of this, I thought something was said, maybe it was in their mediation, but something was said that they would not be removed from school without agreement by the parties or something.
That is correct, Your Honor. And you mentioned that at the last hearing.
And I'm not finding it right off.
I think it was in the last order, I believe.
Yes, it's number 19. The children shall remain in the Augusta School District until further written agreements of the parties or court order. Which isn't always in, I mean, that language isn't always in custody orders or divorces or parenting time, parenting agreements or anything. But so I guess this goes back to Ms. Gehring, you can put your client on, but this goes back to your client isn't even, I think she's got a mom in Augusta that's helped a lot with the kids, but I'm trying to exclude third parties here from bringing the primary caretakers and wanting to designate one or the other parent. So your client's not in a position right now. And I don't know if she plans to stay in Sedan or move back to Augusta, but she's not really in a position to return the kids and be with them all the time in the Augusta school district either.
I
So
think she wants them in Sedan, yes.
Okay, so either way, they're gonna be changing schools. Okay.
Right now, we have it to where they can all three remain in Mulvane for the rest of the school year, though.
I understand. That's because I ordered it.
Mhm.
What I recall I said is if you were under contract, I couldn't do anything to stop or interfere with your contract to purchase, but that may make a difference. Because now you're not even staying in the Mulvane district. And nobody even knows for sure whether your kids could stay there. And I highly doubt your girlfriend, for what she gets paid for driving a bus, is going to stay working there and driving an hour each way every day. But so there's a lot of moving parts here, Counselor. I'm just inclined. I don't like this traveling for the kids, frankly. And Mr. McCartney, frankly, I don't like the fact that your girlfriend, even though she's a girlfriend of 3 years, that you're apparently under some kind of stressful circumstances that you're fighting regularly, is the one doing it all and not you.
We were under stress.
Is there any way that you can't pick the kids up from school? What time do you get off if you go to work at 6 a.m.?
3:30.
So by the time you got there, it'd be 4 o'clock, and she gets off at 4:30 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they go for that 30 minutes? To latchkey, or where do they go for that 30 minutes before she's ready for them, or they just ride around on the bus with her?
Yeah, they get on the bus directly from school. I'm not for sure exactly how it works, but there's one bus that picks them up, and then all the buses meet at one place, and then they get on the bus to their route. But just like any school, I guess. But that's what when we go to the plan is to always move to Harper and enroll my kids in Attica. That's where my brother is.
Well, that might be your plan, but you didn't have an agreement. You're supposed to have court order or agreement by.
And that's what I tried to do at the end of last year, and I didn't do it right. Remember, Your Honor, I tried to file
a motion, but you didn't get a hearing date or proceed any further on it, is what you didn't do. And then you moved the kids without permission. And you didn't, in your motion, I don't think you filed a request to put the kids in Mulvane school. I'll look at it again, but I don't think that was in there. I think you just wanted to change of residency because she was in treatment.
Right.
All right.
I was told to get an emergency change of education, but that didn't work out because of the way the court system was at that time. You couldn't file nothing, so
Well, you filed it in December. You just didn't give proper notice and set it for hearings. And at any rate, I am not going to remove the kids from Mulvane school, even though I don't like this situation. And I'm still going to have to spend the summer, I guess, with litigation of determining where they go. And I understand that there are some issues here, but I don't have a police report or anything indicating from DCF or the school personnel that these kids are witnessing battering and domestic violence. And we're just gonna have to ferret this out. I mean, Ms. McCartney, I know you're rolling your eyes and you're frustrated, but you went into treatment and relinquished your kids. Sometimes there's consequences for.
Did not relinquish kids, Your Honor. I did not relinquish my kids. He took
Okay.
them from me and refused to return them before I even went to treatment.
Okay. Well, I know back in the file, way back when I had you on Scram, when the custody situation was going on originally, and apparently you did relapse. So I'm just saying, I'm trying to sort this out, but it's really difficult because there's so many moving parts. You're not in Augusta. I'm glad you went to treatment. I'm glad you're well. I'm glad you're back in recovery. I'm glad you've got a job. I'm glad you're stable. That may be the best place for the kids to go. I don't know eventually, but your circumstances have changed. You're not still in the same place and posture. Now his have changed, and I understand he did file a motion. It just didn't get heard. But I understand that you're concerned about their well-being and them being with dad and them being transported, making it over 12 hours a day for them just to go to school, between cars and buses and being at school. And I don't like it either, but I'm trying to sort out what to do. And I don't want to disrupt them by putting them in Sedan on Monday. I'm just not prepared to do that today. So April, May, we've got 2 months left. So is your client getting every weekend with the kids?
Well, no, she was supposed to, she can't do the 223 because of the distance.
Okay.
And I don't
Okay.
know how great an idea that is for kids to be with as much distance
I
as they
agree.
have. If it is, I mean, maybe she could have,
Not sure.
maybe she could have every weekend if she could do that. Sarah, can you
Is
do
there-
that?
I requested every weekend after the court hearing, and Mr. McCartney told me no.
Okay.
Which is fair. I mean, we have to deal with their busy week all week, and it'd be nice for me to spend time with my kids on the weekend too. That's why every other weekend seems fair. That's what everybody does.
Well, not everybody. I got lots of parents getting 3 weekends a month. So I think I'm going to order that she get 3 weekends a month. When is she getting them? Does Mulvane go to school 5 days a week?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sarah, do you know, is Sedan 4? I know Elk is 4, I think. Do you know if Sedan, just so I know, is Sedan 4 days a week? It's 5 too? Okay. So when have you been getting the kids on Friday? Or whenever for the weekend? When are you getting them?
At 6 o'clock.
Is that because of your work and their schedule, or?
Typically, he can't meet me until 6 o'clock. I could meet him early, and I have to drive all the way to Quick Trip on Hillside in order to pick them up, and he can't meet me till 6 typically.
Okay. I don't know why, Mr. McCartney, that you can't leave work at 3:30, pick the kids up at 4, and meet her by 4:30 on Fridays. That would be one exception where they wouldn't need to go all the way back to Harper and then get in a car with you and go all the way to Hillside.
Yeah, we haven't had to deal with that yet, but
Okay.
Hillside was just where we were meeting when we lived in Mulvane, so I thought she was supposed to pick them up from school.
Your Honor, I don't think they've had a weekend yet because she had spring break. He moved, then I think he had last weekend. They can correct me if I'm wrong, that she would have this Friday. So this would be the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this would be.
I'm gonna order that you meet her at the Hillside address, which is pretty much like her picking them up, because she's happened to go from Sedan to Wichita, and you're already in Wichita, and you're just running to Mulvane and getting them and taking them back to Hillside, which you can basically do on K-15 to I-35.
Okay. So this Friday
So this
You-
Friday, I want you to meet her at 4:30.
would be probably five with traffic, I would say. Would that be easier?
Can you do 5 o'clock, Miss McCartney? I'm afraid there's a bus snafu. If they get off at 3, unless you want to go to Mulvane and get them from school.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
because pick them up
Hang
from
on,
school.
quiet. Miss
Just-
McCartney, this is the problem with me becoming informal and asking questions. It's not very fair to Ms. Gehring, who has a client she's trying to protect. Ms. Gehring, is there, or Ms.
Nope.
McCartney, is there any reason why you can't pick them up from school? If you can't, that's fine.
No, I can pick them up from school on Friday. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, when do they get out of school?
So the boys get out earlier or later than my daughter. They're in a different school. So I want to say that Brooklyn gets out at 3:05 and the boys get out at 3:15, 3:20.
Okay, so do you know when they get out of school? Are you able to get on like, Mulvane have some kind of power school or some kind of thing you can get on, see their grades and their attendance and all that?
Yeah. Yep.
As to that, I do know that my daughter had straight A's the entire time she lived with me, and now she is struggling in school and does not have straight A's.
Okay, but do you have access to that information?
Not been given that information, no.
I know, but do they have like a school site that if you have the password, you can go on and you can look at when they get out of school, what their days off are, what their
I can
grades
see the
are?
school calendar.
Huh?
I can see the school calendar. Yes.
Sarah, is there like a thing that you get online where you can like get up to date information on their attendance for your individual children?
No.
She needs to be given access to that.
Access to that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna order that she receive that information in the next 48 hours. So all you have to do is tell her the site. She's not familiar with this school. She didn't put them in the school, you did. Get her the site and get her the password, how she gets on, so she can monitor her kids daily. And her attorney can look at it when she wants her to see how if they're staying awake in class and turning their assignments in and attending every day. Then she'll know when they have days off. So you get 3 weekends a month plus any days that they're out of school. Now, do you want to take them back Monday morning to school, or do you want to meet him Sunday?
I will meet him Sunday because I have to go to work Sunday evening.
Okay. And what time do you want to meet on Sunday?
Well, what we've been doing, because I have to drive all the way to Hillside, is my mom has been picking them up for me halfway between Sedan and Augusta, and then taking them on to Wichita so that I don't have to drive all that way a second time.
That's fine.
Okay.
So what time will she meet him in?
She will meet him at Hillside Quick Trip. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what time?
We typically do 6 o'clock.
Okay, so 6 p.m. So you're gonna pick them up after school on Friday
Yes.
until 6 p.m. on Sunday at the meeting point. And what weekend can you agree on that he gets that you don't get? The first, the second, the third, the fourth? I don't know who was supposed to have Easter.
I'm supposed to have
Easter's
Easter.
Okay, so you'll have them this weekend. Did you have them? You had them for spring break.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have them this last weekend or not?
No, he had them.
Okay, so he had them March 16th and 17th.
No, he had the 23rd, 24th, I think.
Okay, you're
He
right.
had this past weekend. He had the 4th weekend of that month.
Okay. So you will get them, she'll get them the first 3 weekends of the month. You'll get them the last weekend of every month, the 4th. So you do get 1 weekend to spend with them
Okay.
until they're out of school. And then we're gonna figure out what to do with summer, how you can possibly share summer, and then I'm gonna figure out who gets, one person's gonna get primary residential and get them during the week. And the other person is gonna get 2 weekends a month, spring break, part of Christmas break, and maybe extra time in the summer. I don't know. And I don't know if you want to travel to make it 3 weekends or it'll end up just being every other weekend. I don't know until I get recommendations and I hear about all of this, how it all transpired, how it all occurred and the current circumstances. And somebody decides what's best for the kids, what's been going on with them and what's best. So that's what we're going to do now. I am going to go ahead and appoint a guardian ad litem. That will require that you each give a deposit of $750 each. Can you all do that no later than April 15th?
Yes.
Ms. McCartney, can you round up that kind of money by April 15th?
Sure can.
If you want to do it before, that's great, because the sooner he gets the money, the sooner he gets started. And I'm going to have that order done today or tomorrow, and it'll be filed.
Your Honor, do you want me to do an order from this hearing with the change in the
Yes.
parenting time? Okay.
Please. Yes, please.
And Your
Okay.
Honor, I did send the last, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I sent the last order to Mr. McCartney by email, so I'll send this one too, if he could take a look at both orders.
This last one is not filed.
Well, I sent it to him. I just needed him to review that order.
Okay. Did you do it Rule 170 or not?
No, I can.
Okay. Mr. McCartney, as I indicated, you're free to get an attorney at any time. You know when your trial date is. That's where I'm going to decide pretty much indefinitely where they're going to be. So it's a pretty permanent situation that's going to occur in June. So you know the trial date. You're free to get an attorney at any time. If not, you'll be representing yourself. And you're free to put on what evidence you can put together as acting as your own attorney that you can get admitted. And I'll have a guardian's report as well. It may be in your favor and it may not. I have no idea. But you're free to get an attorney anytime. But I need you to give permission for Ms. Gehring to file court orders, or she can do it Rule 170, which takes her more time and the court more time to get it filed. All you're looking for is, does this reflect what the judge ordered in the last hearing? Not whether or not you agree with it, not whether or not you like it. All she's supposed to be doing is journalizing what I ordered, so there's something current in the court file.
Okay.
And she's going to modify that reinstatement of the prior custody for temporary. It's only temporary modification. But I need you to sign off on that stuff so she can e-file it and get it to me, and I can sign it and have a summary to look at and a summary in the court file as to what happened at each one of these hearings. But I'm doing the order for guardian ad litem appointment. I'll take care of that and get that filed and get that forwarded to Josh Andrews. All right, anything further at this time?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, everyone. I wonder, we probably need to do a pre-trial conference prior to trial. probably need a date for that if I didn't give you one.
I
So
don't
we-
think we have one.
Okay, we've got this scheduled June 5th and 6th. 14 days prior would be May 22nd.
I cannot do that day. Is there?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just talking to myself.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to do it before then. How about May 9th at 4 o'clock?
that works for me.
Okay, so we're gonna have another Zoom hearing, a pretrial conference, which is you need to have a list of exhibits, a list of witnesses, and what you're asking for, from the court. It's called a pretrial questionnaire. I need those and I need it by May the 9th. And, we'll have a Zoom hearing at 4 o'clock. And then, of course, our trial is scheduled Wednesday, June 5th and Thursday, June 6th.
Do you want the questionnaires before the hearing at 4? Do we need to get them to you by a certain
Well,
time?
I'd like them before, but definitely by then.
Okay.
Definitely by then. I don't ever have luck with pro se individuals and attorneys able to really complete pretrial conference orders. So
Okay.
as long as I at least have questionnaires, that's what I asked for. So I'm not gonna make you do anything different than what I'm ordering him to do, which is to have it to me by May the 9th.
Okay.
Typically what I do is I take your questionnaire and his questionnaire if he does one, and I combine them together, and that's the order, the pretrial
Okay.
order. I just do that. So,
Okay.
and hopefully we will have, I will let Mr. Andrews know we have this May 9th pretrial conference. I don't know if he'll have a report to us by then. I think it kind of depends on when he gets payment and when he can make appointments with the parties and make arrangements to talk to the kids if that's what he does, which I assume he will as a GAL. So